Okay, welcome back to this Let's Play of Half-Life 1, brought to you by Podcast 17 and Planet Phillip. In this episode, we're going to be doing We've Got Hostiles Part 2. In the last episode, I mentioned that we might break it up into 3 parts, but I think we can pretty much finish it up in 2 parts. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So if you remember last, we let off, we had our first contact with the human grunts, these guys, and they're definitely hostile. So, we've got hostiles. This section of We've Got Hostiles is very vent-heavy, which you will see in a few moments, really. And in just in a few seconds, you're going to see the first taste of fresh air. As a player, we'll finally make our way to the surface. Here it is. And you see your first Osprey, which is an HECU chopper, one of 2. There was originally supposed to be a Falcon as well, like a jet, which you do see briefly later on when you get back outside again. But anyway, the Osprey is interesting because in this sequence we're not actually able to kill it or destroy it, but what it'll do is it'll sort of land there and drop off, you know, human grunts for us to deal with. And this area is kind of difficult because, well, one, you got a constant supply of grunts, and then you also have these exploding artillery shells coming down on you. So in essence, you're supposed to, you're basically rushed, see that was a pretty big explosion, into this little storage locker to protect yourself. Oh, that came close. So essentially, as Gordon Freeman, really short level, as Gordon Freeman, you eventually make it to the surface, but are forced back underground because of the artillery bombardment. You can still hear it in this area of the level. Now this is the start of the vent section. It's a really cool sequence there of them just bombing the crap out of the ceiling, and you'll see why in a second. Just wait. There it is. The Osprey sort of positions itself over and starts dropping enemies in. Very cool sequence. You can actually kill them as they're on their way down. We'll hurry up and make our escape. Now these two are just, you can't get past them. So if we continue on down, we make it to this little open vent area. Or another level change. And now we're actually back in the first part of We've Got Hostiles. You can see that there's no helicopters anymore because it's loaded the old level. And we can explore the vent system a little bit more. We're supposed to go down here, but we're going to go over here and start finding some things. You can hear some of the sentry turrets that we've activated. There's one right there. Let's see if I can see it. Yep, there it is. And now we're sort of looking back at some of the areas that we've already been to, only in a different view. So you can see here, this is where, you remember I didn't activate these turrets, but I just activated them now. And here was where we closed the door on the headcrabs that were spawning in from Zen. So that's a cool little area. And you get some shotgun shells if you need it. We won't go down there yet. Go over here first. Now we can go 2 paths. First path, I'll show you here. If you remember, this is where you can push the tables. There are some vending machines over there, and I said we'll get into that room shortly, and now we get a chance to. If you just sort of drop down here, we're now behind, you know, the cafeteria room, or the serving room. You can even open this, and sadly there's a scientist here, dead. Get some power, some ammo, and back up into the vents we go. I often get turned around in here. It's really confusing, and there's even more later. So we'll make a left here where we killed that head crab. Explore some of the other areas. So you get to hear a little bit of the grunts talking down here. And if you want, you can kill them. If you don't want, you can save them till later. I usually like killing them from above. It's awesome. Got one. And then if you head on over here, you can get a better angle on them. Aha. Got him. Cool. We'll head back into the vents. We'll go back to the main junction point here. Now we can go one of two ways. We can go down the ladder there to the very bottom where we're supposed to go, or we can just sort of sneak past the fan on this side and head on into another loading area. Which I've never really understood this area because there's not much you can do here other than just grab this ammo. Maybe I'm missing something, but if you remember, this is the area with the water. You're trying to avoid getting through the elevator, and you can probably break this. Close the door, but that doesn't really do anything. Anyway, head on back. Make sure we don't get our head chopped off, and finally go down this way. Really slow moving. Another vent area. Now, if you remember, the very start of We've Got Hostiles, a Barney got pulled through a vent, and this is where he got pulled through. So we won't go there yet, because that's sort of the way out. We'll go up here first. Which allows you to see some of the other areas that we've been in. Like the very beginning bits of We've Got Hostiles, and then there's a dead end here. So nothing too exciting. You can't really break any of that. We don't really want to go down there anyway, or else we'd have to backtrack through the whole map, so it's sort of good that Valve made it so you can't break it.
Well, so much for the government. Their idea of containment is to kill everyone associated with the project. Judging from your hazard suit, I'd say you were part of what went wrong. Isn't that right? Now look, if anyone could end this catastrophe, it's the science team and the Lambda complex at the opposite end of the base. With the transit system out, I couldn't tell you how to get there. But there's an old decommissioned rail system somewhere through here, beyond the silo complex. If you can make it through the rocket test labs, you might be able to worm your way through the old tunnels to track down whatever's left of the Lambda team. You can trust them. You can trust all of us. Good luck.
Okay, so this little dick here, who didn't open the door before, just told us that we have to make it to the Lambda complex to stop whatever's happening. And that is, of course, they launch a rocket into the portal storm to help close it, which starts the whole sequence of events that is Half-Life, basically. Or Half-Life 2, at least. And closing the portal storms. But he tells us that the way to get to the Lambda complex is to go through the old rail system, which is the chapter on a rail. But before that, we have to go through the rocket test lab, which is the chapter Blast Pit, which is the next chapter. So if you remember, obviously, we were here before. This is the very beginning of We've Got Hostile. So now we finally made a full circle, and we can hit the silo door button, load up on some HEV, and make our way. I just want to mention one thing here. If you remember, I said you can actually glitch We've Got Hostile, skip the whole chapter by getting the scientist to open this door when we started. So the last two YouTube videos, that's basically what you can skip. And all the speedrunners do it because it's really easy to do, according to them, and you know, they get a pretty good head start. So here we go. We've started Blast Pit. I'm going to end this Let's Play here. In the next episode, we'll do Blast Pit, and Blast Pit is another really big chapter with some overlapping levels, and there's a bull squid shooting me right now. So I'll see you guys next time, and thanks for watching.